I just filmed and just uploaded, but I'm back again because one thing I've really realized about myself is I love to plan. I love to plan all the things I'm going to start. I love to think about when I'm going to start them, but then I love to break those plans. So as long as I go into this realizing that my plans are meant to be broken, or rather my plans are made to be broken, we're good. In the last video, I talked about that I had done a Stitch 9 plan when Michelle Rudy did that, and I finished 3 out of 9. I didn't even start some of the ones I said I was going to start. So I also just watched Brenda and the Serial Starter, or Brenda and Laura's video that they just put out. If you haven't seen it, get your credit card out, get whatever you buy things on nearby, and start their video. It's so good. But on top of that, watching it kind of led me to say, that's essentially what I do. I'm not going to say I'm going to start all of these things, but I'm going to get all of these ready so that if I want to start them, they are in my ready to go for 2020 plans. Not saying I'm going to start them, not saying I'm going to finish them, but I'm saying this is what kind of, as I went through my stash, is speaking to me for 2020. With that said, you know, there's Market, there's all the other releases. I know of at least one that I have been told is coming out at Market that was shown in some video, I forget. I know I'm going to buy and probably start in 2020. It's eluding me at the moment. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to start by talking about the birthday sale that I want to do. One piece where every time I see it stitched, I absolutely love it. The picture on the front of this is not as great. I've shown this before and said it was probably going to be my birthday start. Is Salem Hills Sampler by the Scarlet House. I need more smalls in my life. I need more little pillows in my life. And I'm going to start this March 1st. And anyone who wants to go ahead and get this and kit it up and start with me is welcome to. I'm going to pull fabric from my stash. I'm going to pull threads from my stash. And I'm going to start stitching on March 1st. I will give more details and hashtags and all of that as we get closer to then. My birthday isn't until March 25th. And for a while, I celebrated birthday week. But at this point, I celebrate a birthday month. It's a bit ridiculous, I know. But I'm going to start this March 1st. And if you don't have this one, that's okay. Join in with any Scarlet House piece or small. If you're really unfamiliar with Scarlet House, definitely go watch Brenda and Laura's newest video because they do a designer spotlight at the end on the Scarlet House. If you really just want to join in for the sake of joining in, this is one I got for Christmas. This is really small, really simple. This is the Scarlet House on Coverlet Court. It's a really tiny little pillow. But then with that said, Scarlet House also has tons of huge samplers to choose from. Martha Pudsey, Rachel Holbert, Seven Sheep, Sarah Brooks. I could go on and on. Just Google them. If you want to join in, pull a whip you've already started from your stash. Pull a Scarlet House you already have from your stash. Be like me and pull this one. But just jump in. I'll provide a hashtag later. It's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be a Scarlet House extravaganza for my birthday. I have what I want to get started or prep to start for 2020 separated into 2 stacks. I have my bigger pieces, which are more the normal Emily jam of BAPs and giant samplers. And then I have smalls, or what I consider smalls. Some of you may be like, that's not a small. It's a small to me. Because I really want to get some little things finished to be able to display in my entryway or about the house that aren't huge. Let's start with the smalls. Big ones. These are my smalls. My number one, I'm definitely doing this and finishing it. My potentials include The Good Housewife, Carolina. Now, The Good Housewife is out of print. Some of her stuff you can buy on her Etsy shop, and some of it you can still find very reasonably on eBay. This one I actually bought very reasonably on eBay. This is a fairly small little piece. I just liked how whimsical it looked. This is, I don't see a stitch count on the back, but it says if you did it on 40, it's 5 by 4.5. That's small. I'm also going to challenge myself to do a little bit more on 40 count. Not necessarily huge samplers, but some of my smalls. This is another Good Housewife. This is MH 1836. You can see the entire thing. And you can tell a lot of mine I've bought used on eBay and Etsy and Stash and Loading. It's a really pretty little piece. This one I had kitted up to start last year and didn't. I would really like to finish it into a little pillow. This is Stacy Nash Primitives Butternut Tavern. This one is still easily available. You can see all the beautiful threads I've got tucked in there in the back, ready to get rolling. Sorry, still getting over that cold. This was also when I was going to start last year. This is Abby Rose Designs, Milady's Manor. Love me a house. Would switch all those pinks to another color. Would probably just use whatever threads I could find in my stash. But this is one I would love to turn into a little pillow. Love it. Stacy Nash Primitives, House on Pumpkin Hill Pin Keep. Stacy Nash does great smalls. She just does. Look how beautiful that is. And those white pumpkins really pop on that dark fabric. This is In the Merry Month of May by the Work Basket. I love this weird little animal. How are we going to not get? There we go. Weird little animal. This one's still available. This one is out of print. This is Birds of a Feather Winter Sampler. It's shown framed here, but this is only 114 by 114. I love the deer. Sorry, guys. This is a Teresa Kogut. This is Bless Our Home. If this were done on 40, it would be so cute. Diana, look up, whatever you're doing. Look at the little tombstone angel above this. I don't know if you have this one or not. Right? The tombstone angel is honestly why I bought this one. Because how unusual is it to see one on like a home sweet home kind of piece like this. This was a gift that I have said I was going to start and said I was going to start and haven't, and it's about damn time I started it. So this is the Moon Moth Pin Keep. So pretty. What is this stitched on? 36 count Dixie Sampler Linen, Gretchen's Gray. You know, it's not something, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it where you can get it or anything like that. But I like that dark gray. It's not very mottled though. Maybe I'll have some vintage cedar plank left of one of the pieces I'm using it for, and I can do that. Not a small, but a small for me. I bought this piece when I saw it come out at Market. I think it was Market, 2018, and I haven't started it yet. It's 127 by 171. Small for me. And this is the Shining sampler is one of the ones that I saw. Because look at the girls. get this started. I keep saying I'm going to do this piece and gift it to my mother for Mother's Day, and I keep not doing it. I don't think you can get this one anymore on 1 2 3 Stitch. I bought it on 1 2 3 Stitch years ago, but I bet that Lila's Studio would still sell it to you. I don't know if she's turned this one out of print. This is a Mother's Love, and this is 134 by 130. I keep saying I'm going to stitch this for my mom. Maybe prim it up a bit, do it on some darker fabric. But it's really beautiful, and it's a great sentiment. During one of McKenna's auctions, this piece went up, and I didn't get it. But I asked McKenna to kind of like flash it up on the screen again so I could write down the information and try to find it, because I loved this goat. I really wanted to do this goat, and this watering can is a small. The guy that won it had her send it to me. That goat and that watering can are going to get stitched and are going to be right there as you walk into my house. It's fantastic. This is Sweet Pleasures by the Gathering Place. Letitia made me buy this book this past year, and I would really like to, at minimum, stitch a C in some Emily colors and do it up as a small. That's some heavy stitching, but gosh, that would be so much fun. So those are all of my smalls that I want to kind of prep, maybe pull some linens and some threads, and just have them in a basket. Whenever I'm ready and feel the urge to start up something small this year, I can go to this, flip through, pull one out, and on some of the really smaller ones, maybe knock it out in a week or so and get it fully finished and be able to enjoy it. Now on to my bigger things that I would like to do the same with. Get them kitted up, put them in a basket. Whenever I get the urge, whenever I get the urge to start something, maybe for high tea or any special occasion, I can rifle through, pull one out, and get it started. In my last video, I showed 2 of these as new acquisitions, but Sarah Needham is definitely going to get kitted up and prepped and ready to start. This chart calls for DMC. I'm going to need to pull the colors, have a look at them, see if it looks like the front, or if this is one where it's been charted from brighter colors on the back. Cats are fighting on the cat tree. Dharma's on it. Buster has gotten on it, and she is unhappy with him being that close to her, so she's kind of bapping down at him from above, like they do. But anyway, I may have to prim this one up a bit, undecided, gotta find fabric. This is getting ready. I kind of feel like Ann Spence, which I showed in the last video, should go into a basket ready to go whenever the mood strikes me, because this is just such a cool and unique sampler. The saying on it, it says, "May virtue guide my unexperienced youth and lead my footsteps in the paths of truth." It's a good one, guys. It's a really good one. Interesting. I keep looking at it because this is so new to me, but it, where did I buy this? Oh, that's why. I was thinking I bought this from a seller new, but I bought this secondhand from somebody, and that's why it has a shop sticker on it that I've never heard of before. Sorry, off on my own tangent. I have 2 over here that I even already had in bags that I made, ready to start. This one, Kelly from the Evergreen Needle gifted me black linen because she said there was no way she was going to be able to stitch on it and use it. So this is black Belfast in 32 count so that I could do Ivy Wed by the Good Huswife. This is one I found on eBay. I think maybe this is one of the ones that she has re-released. So if you love this, go check out her Etsy shop. I love this. Maybe I will start this closer to mine and Jim's anniversary in October. But it's a really good one. I really want to do it on the black. This time next year, I'll probably be regrettably saying I did it on the black and now I can't see to stitch anymore. It's a discombobulation. I keep saying I'm going to start this one and I keep not. But several people have done it. I want to do it. I want it on my wall. Maria Selby Humphrey. I even already have all of the threads in here. Like, she's ready to go. And I want to say I even have, the linen's not in here, but there's already linen for her upstairs. I want to say I was going to do her legacy, maybe. These are just charts. Some I've shown you before, some I may not have. This is what's speaking to me for 2020. Jane Tyndall, 1864, by Needlework Press. I love a big hill. Merrily, Merrily, We Welcome Spring, by Blackbird Designs. It's so pretty. There are a lot of pinks. I have not bought the threads for these because I actually thought I may alter them. So this is what it is. We'll see. Jane Baxter, 1838. I have seen several people show this in their 2020 plans, and I think a couple of them said that they have this because I told them about it. And I'm trying to remember. Happy Costici, she had already pulled the DMC, and she was unhappy with the DMC. I have not pulled the DMC, but I'm unhappy with what she pulled too. She talked about primming it up herself, or maybe contacting Country Sampler to kit it up and prim it up for her. So if you do, let me know. If I do it myself, because I have plans of the same, if I prim it up before you do, we'll share, unless Country Sampler does it, and then I'll contact them and buy what they do. This one is so nice, and I'm with her. I loved it for the turkey. It has a great verse too. But that one is Victoria Rose Needle Arts, and this one is, you can get it on Etsy. This one Jim bought me and kitted it up for me with the silks last Christmas. I put a piece of 40 count vintage cedar plank with it. This is a Scarlet House piece, so I may start this one in March too. Ooh, that's a good idea. See, you guys are helping me. This is Susan Wasband. That's a good plan. We're going to get this one started as well in March. I do not believe it calls for vintage cedar plank, but I like the idea of these colors on a gray. Do you need my lap, buddy? Let me move this stuff. What was that? Another needlework press that I have in mind to start is Maria Tilly 1835. I love a sampler with a cow on it. I also love all the browns of this sampler. I have seen the original stitched only in videos, or maybe the model stitch only in videos. If you see anybody do a walkthrough of the attic, I know they have it stitched there. I also love this chart. Sometimes we associate things with people, and when I first started working in social work, the judge that I worked under's last name was Tilly. So she was like very inspirational to me and still is, and this one always reminds me of her. I finally got my hands on this sampler in the past year. So should Olivia decide to start hers, Olivia, girl, all you gotta do is say go, and I'm ready. I don't know what threads I'm gonna use. I don't know what fabric I'm gonna use, but I'll figure it out. I'm ready when you are. This one, I already have fabric pulled in the back. I have a whole half yard of Lakeside Linen Vintage Sand Dune stuck in here. This is the Charlotte Clayton sampler. Nicole's Needlework has done this one. I've seen other people do this one. It's so beautiful. I tried to get as close to that model or original antique colors I could with the fabric. I love it, and I can't believe I haven't started it. Lucy Red sampler. Also beautiful. Gonna get it ready to go. Maria Finney, 1832. This was one of the ABC Schoolgirl releases during the past year. Most people have already finished it. I have not started it. I pulled the fabric that it came with, and I don't think I'm planning on using that. It was Weeks Dye Works straw, I believe, and I found one that I had that was similar but more modeled. This is I think it's a Silkweaver Sand Dune, which, let's just compare. Yeah, those are pretty similar. Silkweaver Sand Dune and Lakeside Linen Sand Dune. Silkweaver's a little darker. But those are the threads and the fabric that I plan on using. So this one is ready. This is an out of print chart that Jim bought for me a couple of years ago that I've got to figure out threads for and fabric for. The threads is one of the reasons I haven't started it, because there's a lot of pink that I know I'm not going to be happy with. This is Canterbury Designs, the Plantation Sampler. I love this. I remember I already had this, and I'm pretty sure Jim paid too much for it when McKenna stumbled upon a stash of them in a room at the attic, and I think she sold them all. But I was like, oh, of course. I'm sure there's still shops out there where copies of this are lingering. This is going to be a start for a sampler in October. I know Olivia has this book. I actually bought this book for Diana for her birthday, and one of the reasons is in case she wanted to start this with me. I really want to start at First Cock Crow. This is the Sisters book by Blackbird, or you'll notice the typo on the book, Backbird Designs. I think they're all like this. The one that I bought for her was like that too. I love this. Love it. I wonder what the called for stuff is on this. Let's look. It's stitched on a 30 count 18th century brown by R&R Reproductions. Used overdyed floss to make this piece glow, ginger snap, pumpkin pie, and fragrant cloves. Colors conjure up the aroma of autumn and Halloween. Yeah, it does. I love it. This one is printed out because you have to buy this online through this museum. I've seen other people stitch it and finish it or have it as their whip, and hunted it down and found it. You buy it online through the museum and they send you the file and you can print it. This is through Haslemere Educational Museum, Mary Gibson's 1824 sampler. It's beautiful. Get in a little closer so you can see what the sampler looks like. I don't know if you guys can hear Buster purring in my lap. The last one I have is also a museum sampler. I have to buy a piece of fabric for this to go on because it has to be stitched on the count that's called for, which is a 35 count, and I have no 35 count because these images on the back, these paper images, the faces get cut out and inserted onto your piece. I know it's nuts. I've been putting off starting this because it was very intimidating to me, but I love it so much. Now some of the people, some of them are stitched, but like their faces are on here. Let me show you an image. You can tell in the sampler that their faces look too perfect, and that's because little Buster photobomb there. And their faces look too perfect because they're paper. Like, they are the image that's in there. This guy has been napping all day. But I love this piece, and there's just something about it. This is one that I hunted down and found on eBay, so I'm sure it's available somewhere. By the Porcupine Collection. But then again, there's the people. But that's it, guys. That gets you through my entire list of plans of potential starts for 2020. I'm not going to say things that I plan on finishing in 2020. I will say 2 that I would like to finish. Death by Cross Stitch. 2020 is the year. It needs to be finished. I think I started it in either 2015 or 2016, and it needs to get done. I plan on pulling it out some on New Year's Day. I'd originally said that it was going to be the piece that I took from today into tomorrow, ending out 2019 and going into 2020. It's going to get a lot of love in 2020, and I hope to finish it. But may not be New Year's, because Emily's plans are made to be broken. I'm finishing out 2019 and starting 2020 with Ann Thomas. And I would really like to finish Ann Thomas in 2020. I don't know if any of you guys saw Nicola Parkman's video that she did recently and put out, where she did her new release and she talked about a giveaway. But she challenged people to, in between December 26, 2019 and December 26, 2020, to finish a piece, to finish one of her pieces. And the requirements are, like, it could already be kind of started, but you have to send her an email of a progress pic and a finish pic. and she enters you in to win antique samplers. It's worth trying. I was telling Diana about it, and she said, well, heck, finish that one and Marianne Bourne's. All right, Diana, let's not get too excited. I'm just gonna try to finish this one. I've already started Marianne Bourne's. I have like nothing done on her. But if I finish this one, I want to try for that one too. Maybe, but we'll just try to finish this one first. I will say, I love these booklets. I love them. They are beautiful. I mean, all of this history that's in here. It's like a little thin coffee table book. And then people talk about how there's the centerfold. But it's a love-hate relationship. And you're all going to tell me just to make photocopies. I know that. That's not how I roll, because I'm cheap and I'm lazy. But I like to take a piece of paper from my chart and slap it on my Q-snap on my stand with a magnet so I can just stitch, and I don't have to be constantly looking from chart to stitching, because my chart's right there next to my stitching and I'm just stitching. This is cumbersome. It won't magnet, obviously. It's heavy to lean up against something, and even then I find myself having to, I don't know, I gotta find a better way to stitch from this. Ideas? I know. Photocopy it. I know. I may just have to do that. Anyway, this is the last one of 2019. These are my plans for 2020. Roughly, loosely, kind of, sort of, maybe. Fly by the seat of my pants. Hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve. And me and Buster, we'll see you in 2020.